To me, terrorism is an act of promoting chaos. It's something some people use or feel is helpful to get their point across by scaring people and going against common law and order.
People come together to create a sense of fear in other people's nations.
I think terrorism means when there's a certain dangerous group of people who are trying to go against society and wreak havoc.
It means that in foreign countries, there are people being forced to use guns when they're little and grow up being these angry people who want to kill innocent people.
I would define it as people from other countries. I mean, the word terrorism has the word terror in it, so they're trying to inspire fear.
Terrorism means that a group of people impose themselves on another group of people through violent means, whether it is to overthrow a government, take hostages. It's power. It's trying to get power, trying to make a statement about something or not.
I'm against it.
I'm against terrorism. I don't think it should be done. I think it's a product of people being really narrow-minded and trying to solve problems with war.
Well, I feel like terrorism is something that will be around forever. As long as people have their own sense of things and their own opinions, there'll be people who will take drastic measures to get their point across.
I think it's rather unnecessary that we're sending so many troops into mostly the Middle Eastern countries. I think we should, instead of focusing to combat all the bombers, I think we should focus more on finding Bin Laden.
It's gone on for way too long.
Well, at the time it happened, I was at school, and I remember I think I was in 4th grade, and a lot of the teachers started crying, and we were just really confused, and a lot of us got sent home, and my dad came to pick me up, and we were watching TV, and I didn't really know what was going on, but when my mom came back, she was completely covered in rubble, and I remember I kept a piece of the rubble in my little notebook, but it was very scary, and she had to walk across the bridge.
Well, actually, my friend's dad died in 9/11, so it's definitely, touched me, I guess. And it was just terrible, and the fact that it was able to happen was a big wake-up call to the U.S., and for so many people to die, it's really sad that it took that much to make us realize that we have a problem.
I went to a public school, and I guess personally it was just being with the people around me who were affected by it, because it didn't hit my family or people I knew that hard, but I just remember one girl in my class who I'm still friends with just kind of was pulled aside. Oh, are you okay? And she was crying really hard because I just kind of looked around and saw loss everywhere, and that was pretty much what terrorism meant to me in the 9/11 attack.
Very profoundly, very personally. I spent actually the first 2.5 weeks down there, pretty much 12 to 15 hours a day, digging, looking for people that I knew, and just knowing a lot of people who died down at 9/11. That's enough.
When the 9/11 attacks happened, I was really young, but I understood that people did this, but I didn't understand was why they would do that. Why would they do such horrible things just to get their ideas expressed? And it was a turning point for me, because after that I realized that not all people were good.
I haven't really been personally affected, but I remember coming home one day and looking on the TV screen and seeing the two Twin Towers and a bunch of smoke, and that didn't affect me then, but it really affected me now as to how horrible the attacks were, and yeah.
Well, I believe that there's a little bit of good in everybody, so if everyone around the world would just kind of look into themselves and see that good bit and think of how other people would feel if they were bombed, then people wouldn't even commit terrorism, and that would be how I would solve it.
I think sometimes the United States government, we try to impose our will on the rest of the world, and we think that our way is best. So I think maybe if we stop doing some of that, perhaps. I think religion, oftentimes people, do terrorist acts in the name of religion, thinking their religion is better than somebody else's religion. So maybe if we did away with all the religions, we wouldn't have that anymore.
I believe to stop terrorism, you'd have to start at the top to take down the leader who is leading all the smaller time terrorists and who's brainwashing them into thinking that for religious advantages, they have religious advantages to terrorize people so that only for their own benefits and for their own good. And I believe that if the leader is taken down, then the people and the government, like terms and compromises can be made with the people and the government to change the views of terrorism from the people so that it won't really exist anymore because there's no more leaders left.